Welcome back to The Groomsman. I'll be your host, Jonathan. Today, got a little bit of a frog in my throat. I've been sick the last week or week and a half or so. I'm doing okay. I haven't had any fevers or anything. I've had a cough, so it's kind of messed up my throat a little bit there, but I'm going to press on with the shave. I'm feeling fine. Just got a weird cough and a frog in the throat today. I'm using L'Orange Verte, nice bright orange scent that I'm going to start out with today. It's got two different orange scents, orange peel and tangerine. It's got bergamot, lemon. It's got a nice powdery note to it, and then some oak moss in the base, a little bit of lavender. To me, I really get like a really nice bright orange scent with that powder. It's kind of like a orange-based barbershop scent. It took me a while to grow me, like the powder scent kind of threw me off. I didn't know that was kind of going to be there. But I think it kind of comes from the lavender. It's really nice. I really like it. It really grew on me. This is my second tub. I've killed off a whole tub of this. The first soap I ever killed a whole tub of, from new to used, or new to empty. And I just picked this one up. I've only got like one little scrape out of the corner here. This is a new, not new, a K2E base. My previous tub was in the Kaizen base. And I got that all lathered up here with my Voight and Cop Brush, made in Italy. This is African Blackwood. It's got a brass ring here. It says made in Italy on one side and Voight and Cop on the other. The text is pretty small. And then it's got a little Voight and Cop coin on the bottom there. But you see that lather is nice. I mean, it's K2E. If you haven't seen me review K2E, or this is your first one, K2E is my second favorite base. It's maybe tied for first. It's amazing. Outstanding. I got some pre-shave on here. Just some Noxzema pre-shave, or not pre-shave, it's just a face wash, but I use it as a pre-shave. Works very similar to Parasso pre-shave for me, but much cheaper and easier to get here in the States. I just rub it in my face with some water before the shave. Let it sit there for a couple minutes while I'm getting everything ready. Just like I would with Parasso pre-shave, and it works great. Softens the whiskers, gets the skin ready. I end up getting less redness. The whole point of it for me is I get less redness and irritation at the end of the shave. It's not very dense. It's a 27mm knot. I won it in a raffle. Hand tied over there. I mean, I guess aren't all knots hand tied. I don't know of any knot tying machinery out there, but that's the vernacular that's used a lot. Hand tied. I know they tie them there at the company versus having them pre-tied in China or wherever they're buying their hair from. I don't know where they buy their hair from for the Voight and Cops. I know there's some distributors there for European badger knots, but I don't know if that's what Voight and Cop uses or if they buy them from China like a lot of the other places. But I like it, it's nice. So today I'm using a new razor. Well, it's kind of new. So I've had this a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago. It's been a really long time. I was pretty new to wet shaving, so I guess it was probably 3 years ago. More than that, I don't know, it's been a while. I didn't like AC blades back then. So I got this kind of like incidentally in something else, in like a group, like a box deal or something. And I didn't like it, and I ended up trading it off or selling it off. But since then, I've come around to liking AC razors, and I've been using the Shield AC razor, the Evolution here. This is like the thinner profile head. They're pretty similar. There's some key differences. I mean, I think the head shape's a little bit different. As you can see, there's a bit more of a slanted angle for the blade. The base plate and the top cap are obviously different. This is a much slimmer profile on the Blackbird, or excuse me, on the Blackland Vector. The Shield kind of looks like a mix up between the Vector and the Colonial General, which is another AC razor that looked very similar to this head style, but the head was a little wider because the handle was like a standard handle and it mounted just behind the head, which is kind of standard for AC razors. This took the thin screw. You can see that screw top there. That way you can go through the center of the blade for the AC blade. As far as blades, I got a first use Feather Professional blade in there. I didn't know when I bought the Vector, I didn't really think about it. I normally use the Schick Proline blades with the shield razor, but they don't fit in the Vector. So I went back and looked at their website, and they have a list of blades that they say are supposed to be used with this razor, but are not all inclusive, and no blade is guaranteed to fit, which is kind of a pretty broad catch-all to catch them from, I don't know, unhappy customers, because not all blades fit. But the Schick Pro line wasn't listed on there, and when I tried to stick it on the post, it doesn't fit. It's got like 2 little pin posts, you can see on each side here, and they are just too far wide apart for the Schick blade, like minuscule levels of closeness. It's so close. You can actually force it onto the blade post. I did once just to see. You just kind of like do a little extra and push it around the edge, and it gets there. But then the blade is kind of warped. So even with it, I thought maybe if I put the top cap on there and screwed it down, it'll flatten that blade out and it'll be fine. But even when I did that, the blade was still, it had a warp in it. It wasn't an even flat blade, and I definitely was not going to shave with a wavy AC blade. And then I had to use a pair of pliers to get the blade off, and then destroy the blade basically to get it off the base plate here. So that wasn't fun. So don't use Schick Pro blade in this. That kind of sucks. I like that blade, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna start with the new razor, the Vector. The reason I got this, I was kind of curious how it matched up, but it was on sale last week. They've been doing Black Friday sales, and the Vector was on sale for 25 or 30% off. It was a really good deal. This is just a regular machined stainless, which, I mean, for a machined razor, it's pretty nice looking. I've gotten other machine razors that were not as polished looking as this. And I figured I would just, if I like it, then I'll polish it up myself to, you know, to my poor levels of polishing skills. And then if not. But it was a good deal. $25 or 30% off, I can't remember. It was a good deal. They're not, I think that sale is expired. If you're watching this video now, I think their current Black Friday sale going on, at least what I saw a couple days ago, was for the Blackbird. The Blackbird had varying levels of percentages off depending on what razor you bought, whether it was, you know, the machined stainless steel or the brass or the titanium. I think all versions had a discount to some extent though. I know Fayez was talking about buying the titanium version. He really likes that Blackbird. I'm not so much so. Tried it several times, but not gotten along well with it. I did read on one of their newsletters recently, Blackland, that they're... Oh, I forgot I'm only doing half my face with this. They're coming out with a Saber version 2. They haven't said what they've done different with it yet, but it's coming out next year, I guess. I think it said next year. Don't quote me on that. So that's kind of interesting. So same blade, well, you know, different blade, but same brand blade. First use, feather. The Vector might have been a little smoother. You got 3 days growth. This does feel a little, I don't know, tuggy. Not horribly so, like I don't have any desire to stop the shave. Just a little less smooth, I think, than maybe that Vector was. Good though. Tuggy's kind of the wrong word because that implies it's like a negative experience. It's just a little less smooth. I do like that really thin profile head. I mean, they both have pretty thin heads. And that blade comes pretty close to like the very edge of the razor, so it's pretty nice to easily go around like the goatee and stuff like that. But even in that little spot right there, the Blackbird was there. I keep saying the Blackbird. The Blackland Vector was a little bit smoother. Might be a little bit more efficient too. Probably won't be able to tell till the end of the shave though. But it was a good first pass. You guys ready for Turkey Day? I went out and bought a turkey this weekend. I got a fresh turkey, so I didn't have to worry about thawing. It's a little bit more expensive, but worth it since I was lazy this year and didn't go shopping. Normally I go shopping earlier and I'll buy a frozen one and just stick it in the garage fridge. You know, whatever, 7 days prior to Thanksgiving, make sure it's all thawed out. I didn't get around to it this year. Work's been crazy and I've been sick and wife's been sick, kids been sick. Crud's been going around up here. Luckily I haven't had it as bad. My wife got pretty bad. She had like fevers and everything else. And I had to take a day off work. She was pretty off the count. But I've just had a cough and it is very smooth. Maybe because it's stainless steel. So this is titanium. I don't know if I said that at the beginning. That weight might play a factor there. You know, stainless steel, they're approximately the same size. Heads are about the same size. You know, one's a little thicker than the other. Handle, you know, the Vector handle is like a little bit longer, but it's, you know, it feels a lot heavier in the hand, the stainless steel versus titanium. Oh, I got myself right there on my scar. So second pass, I would say, pretty similar to the first. Vector is just a little bit smoother. They're both really nice though. It's so like, the differences are so small as far as like the shave. The quality of the razor, I mean, titanium versus stainless steel. I mean, the Vector looks nicer. The aesthetically pleasing, the lines are nice. It's not to say that the Shield razor isn't a good looking razor, because it is. And I like the Shield. I've had it for a while, but the head is kind of, I don't know. I think it's these rounded edges. Everything's kind of beveled and smooth. It looks a little classier, a little nicer. The handle looks nice. I like how this bit flares up into the neck and then it comes down to this nice knurling down here. I like the handle on both. I think the head styling is kind of where it's at. It looks smoother, more rounded. I mean, that's, you know, if I had to pick just based on looks, I'd pick the Vector. That was actually really smooth. Okay, ain't gonna lie. So against the grain, and I like this razor. I've been using it for a while. The Vector was noticeably smoother against the grain. Still gonna keep up the, I kind of want to just finish with the vector because it was so much smoother. It was pretty noticeably smoother. But I want to see how efficiency level comes down, so. Noticeably smoother. It's kind of crazy how much. I got myself good. I had that little scar right here. I've had a scar there for years from I used to get ingrown hairs really bad before I switched to safety razors, and it made a little scar here above my Adam's apple, and I still kind of get ingrown hairs there, but I have a tendency to nick that scar. All right, so haven't done touch-ups yet. Pretty close. The vector gets a nod though. It's just a little bit more efficient. I could use a little bit of a touch-up right here. I'm still gonna do this touch-up no matter what, but. I would say the vector is just just a notch. Like if you're gonna say the vector was like a 9 out of 10 for efficiency, then the shield would be an 8 out of 10. Like it's one notch below. I did get a couple of weepers right there. A little smoother, a little more efficient. Yeah, a little bit more efficient right here. Vector wins. I'm gonna do a quick touch-up pass with the vector. Clean up this little cheek a little bit, do this little pass here, and then a cold water splash. I'll be right back for final thoughts. All right, I'm back. Thanks for sticking with me. Got the matching L'Orange Verte splash here. This is the same original bottle I had. I don't think he's changed the splashes since Kaizen to K2E, but I still have like half a bottle of splash, so I'm still using that. Weird how that works. I always tend to use more soap than I do aftershave, which doesn't feel like that. I feel like I go heavy on the splash, but. Flow inhibitors on these do a good job of inhibiting the flow. Touch-up pass was good. I used the vector. I did get I caught myself kind of funny going right here. I got a little bit of irritation, a little redness right there. I don't know what I did different from this side, but it's a little red. I'm pretty sure it's gonna burn. I got that little weeper right here. I had to put a styptic pencil on that. Cheeks feel great. No burn at all. So of the two shades, I gotta give the nod to the vector. I like the look a little better. The shade was smoother. Using the same blade, I think just geometry a little bit there. That smoother, that lower profile head, I don't know, it made it smoother. Both with and against the grain, that's a big deal. I do not like that it doesn't use the Shake Proline blades. That seems like a really weird thing. I assume he just used the feather blades when he was doing his machining and the original design process for it, and didn't consider the Shake Proline. And they're just off by just a little bit. If he made it just a little bit narrower on where those two dots are, like just bring them in just a scotch, or no, push them out just a scotch, it would still fit both blades at that point. I guess there'd be a little wiggle room on for the feather blades, because there would be a little bit of give, and he made it so the tolerances were like super tight to the feather blades. I can get this blade come out, I'll show you. I think it's because it's wet, it's kind of stuck together. There it goes. So it's got those little pins. You can see the pins, and the blade just kind of sits there, goes through the post, and then you got your pins on both sides. And it's made to fit, so there's not really any wiggle room when you put a Feather Pro blade in here. Like side to side blade wiggle, so you don't have to like worry about it being misaligned or anything like that. So I mean, it's great that he spent that much time on his machining and his tolerances to make it so there's like no room for error. So I guess if, you know, I get where he's going with that. If you made it a little looser on the tolerances so it fit the Schick blade and the feather blade, there'd be a little wiggle, but it would only wiggle side to side. And I feel like you could, you know, if it's off by like an 1/18 of a millimeter, I don't even know how small that is. Like, it's so small of a difference. I don't think it would make a difference as far as like the blade wiggle for the feather. Like, I don't think it would make a difference. I really don't. Obviously that would cost money for him to go through and change his designs and his whatever CAD designs and everything and go through and make a version 2. But if he ever did a version 2, that would be some one thing I'd like to see on, is that it would fit all AC blades. Sucks that you can't use a Schick blade. So I think I might do another shave off with this, with these two, and then still use a feather blade in this one, but maybe use a Schick Pro Line in this one. I prefer the Schick Pro Line blade, and see how that works out. We'll see. Might be worth a go. Splash was good. A couple little weepers right there. But other than that, it was a great shave. Let's bring on some Verte Instinct from Dua here. I originally got this from Adam, one of the other groomsmen, although I since used that whole bottle, and this is a new one I bought. This stuff is amazing. It's a Creed scent. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's awesome. Bright, not quite orangey, but it matches. It fits well with the L'Orange Verte. Very bright, very green. It's gonna go nice. That was a shave. I hope you liked it. Great way to start off the week. I hope your week starts off just as well. And short week, Turkey Day coming. Looking forward to that. And I'll see you guys later.